Mike O'Neill and welcome to FlyBoyz. I'm going to be trying something a bit new with this post, and that is I'm going to have a video narration along with the post. I've done many videos with FlyBoyz before, but none of which I'm speaking to you directly in, such as this. So this is going to be a first. I am by no means a video media personality, so hopefully I won't bore you all to death, but I appreciate you being here and watching me work through this first video narration. Also, I know it's been a while since I've been real active with FlyBoyz. Over the last several months, there's just been a lot of stuff going on, both in my personal life and with work around the house that we purchased last year, and family events, work events, etc. I think you all know the drill. And it's just kept me away from a lot of my aviation activities, so I haven't had a whole lot to report on in FlyBoyz, but nonetheless, the viewership, the visits to FlyBoyz have remained constant, and that just thrills me to death, and I'm real pleased and thankful for all you faithful followers out there. So there hasn't been a lot of updates to really present in FlyBoyz, but I've got one for you this time, and that is since Christmas season was over with, I've been focusing my efforts back in the basement workshop. I've done a couple posts on the progress or the lack of progress on this workshop in the past, and so today I've got another post going with an update, and I'm going to try to do a video narration of this progress at the same time. So over the last 6 weeks or so, I've been focusing on picking up where I left off a year ago with the shop. I've been focusing primarily on the one long 28-foot long exterior wall of the shop, and there's been a lot of stuff I've had to do to it to get it ready to go. It's the wall of which you're seeing partly behind me over this way. It had to have some framing done, it had to have all the electrical redone, obviously it had to be sheetrocked. There was 3 electrical panels on the wall, and I've framed those all in with a box enclosure to keep all the sawdust and other stuff out of there. I'm kind of proud of the way that came out because as I'll show you, it was all made out of reused and recycled materials, and it looks pretty good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you on a walking tour of the shop to show you both the current progress and some of the stuff that was here from the last time I did a video update. I do want to apologize in advance if the film is a little shaky. I've got essential tremors which cause my hands to shake, and so I'm really glad this iPhone has a stabilization factor built into it, because that eliminates a lot of my shakiness, but probably not all of it, so I apologize. I'll try to keep the camera as steady as possible. If you think it's a problem with the camera, you should see me trying to build models with my shaky hands. That's a real trip right there. So anyway, I'm going to pause this for a moment and then pick the phone up and proceed around the shop and just try to explain what's going on as the video goes along. So hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, I figured I would start this by showing you the way you get into my shop. Over on the far wall there is the staircase which comes down into the basement, and this recreation room which you're seeing in front of you, I like to make claim for this, but I've had nothing to do with this other than providing the foosball table and some of the furniture in here. But when we bought the house a year and a half ago, it was completely this way. Even the pool table came with it. I did put a new light over the pool table, but the bar was here, and it is a wet bar. We provided, you know, the stuff you're seeing behind the bar and the furnishings, and there's a TV up on the wall. This is a real comfortable space, so anybody coming down to my workshop, we'll start out by going through this area, and it's a nice play area for the family. So I'll turn around here, and when you come down, then you come into the basement. And what you're seeing in front of you is, I'll describe what's going on there in a couple of minutes. There is a small bathroom in here that's finished. I don't have lights on. But basically, to get to the workshop, you come through the recreation room, and then you come down and you duck your head. This house was built in 1977, so it's almost 40 years old, and the ceilings back then weren't as high as modern houses. So somebody who's 6'2" like me has to duck their head at this point to get underneath. And then you come in here and you come into the workshop. And this is what I've been working on. And this is what we have all the photos of in this post. So I'll just make a quick walkthrough here. We do have my rack over here with all my model kits to be built. On top we got planes. On the bottom we got a lot of model, train, craftsman, structure kits. Then you come over here, and this is my work desk area where I work on small models, kits, and things like that. The furnace that you're looking here, this is one of the next things to do, is to enclose this with walls. And then I'm going to mount a TV and some stereo equipment up over the desk, so I have something to listen to right now. All that kind of stuff is just sitting on the desktop. Here's one of the planes I started a while ago. Haven't made much progress on it because of the house move and everything. Then you come along here. This wall was finished a year ago, and this is what I featured in post number 2. These benches from Harbor Freight, great benches, really like them. Over here, this is where I have my small tools. Again, a few of these are from Harbor Freight. One's from Lowe's, and that jigsaw there cost me $15 at an estate sale, so pretty good buy on that. So all these still have to be mounted, and some setup on these, but at least they're all here and available. Then in the back, this you can see we got some wrecked planes back here, and that green one there, I did a recent post on it, the Hawker Hurricane. You can read a previous FlyBoyz post, find out what's going on with it. Here is the wood storage rack that I've talked about in the past, and this was repurposed from when I first come into the shop. It used to be there. I painted it up a little bit, cleaned this area up, and this makes a nice organized area for my wood. I really like the fact that I can lay the wood on its side like this, so I can see what I got and draw each stick out individually rather than having to take it off of a pile. Over here behind me, this area hasn't had any attention to it really. It needs a lot of work. But this is where I got my planes hanging, the control line planes hanging. This is an Airbrush paint booth that needs to be put together and vented. Then you come over here. This is my Mustang that you can read about this in FlyBoyz. It's obviously in need of some repairs. Hopefully we'll get that up and running before summer. I do tend to use things until there's nothing left. This table came out of a mobile home my wife and I bought in Arizona back in 1976. It was our kitchen table. And this has been my primary model building table for years and years and years until I came into this workshop. Now I'll still use this, but not for the primary building table. This is the wall that I've been focusing on over the last 6 weeks or so. There was nothing but just some framing on the wall. I've done all the framing, all the electrical, all the sheetrock, all the storage systems on the wall, and everything else has been done in. I'm really proud of this enclosure here. This is all made out of leftover and recycled material from previous jobs. This does have the, and you can see my shadow here. This is the electrical panels, and these are sliding doors. There's 3 primary electrical panels back here, but these doors keep it all protected from the sawdust and everything else. And so this works out pretty good. You know, just moving this along here, and you can see I can slide these and move the other way, and again, now they overlap each other. There we go. And You can see we have an outside generator, power generator, if we lose primary power to the house. So that's what that panel is. So I was pretty pleased with the way that this panel came out, encloses these, yet gives me good accessibility to them all. Here's my table saw. Wonderful piece of equipment, same one that Norm Abram uses on his construction jobs. And shelf that I repurposed from the former owner of the house. He only had the 2 center supports. I've added a few more supports and got this cleaned up. It was a mess, got it back and running. Here's my favorite tool in the world, the compound miter saw, which I bought a number of years ago. I use it for everything. It's a wonderful device. This behemoth of a workbench was here before. I'm repurposing it. Put in this pegboard was here with the old house. It was brown. I primed it and painted it white, mounted it on the wall, painted it white so it would blend in and reflect the light. And this is another one of these Harbor Freight benches. This one's going to be for my primary building. You can see I got a SIG twister there ready to go. And then a repurposed shelf up above it for some of my model building supplies. The floor in here, the whole floor has been done in a one-part epoxy, concrete, and garage floor paint. I did it in a light blue so it would lighten up the place, reflect some light, because that's the primary issue I still have in this place is the lighting. The lighting is really insufficient to light this place. That's my next major effort, is to get the overhead lighting redone so I can actually see what I'm doing in here. But that's also the reason I painted the walls white and the floors blue, was to lighten it up. I want to make this, instead of looking like a dungeon down here, I want to make it look like an attractive area that people are willing to come down and work in. And hopefully I'm making progress on that. So again, just a real quick, starting over here with the kit storage racks to the work area. Some benches over there. Small tool in the back. In the back there's the wood storage area. Paint booth will be in the back corner there. Then various tools and workbenches along this wall, culminating in the workbench here. And then in future efforts, this area here is going to be my HO train layout room. You can obviously see it's got a lot of work before that happens. One thing I do want to do is this hot water tank will be enclosed, and there'll be a wall that'll go behind it, kind of a few feet past this paint line here, and there'll be a wall between the workshop and the train layout room. And then back again over, there's the bathroom there. You can see me in the mirror. And here's the furnace. Again, this will be all enclosed, so you're not seeing this. And then back into the workshop. And then finally back out into the recreation room, and that's back where we started. So I'm going to stop this video now. Hope you enjoy it. Hope if you've got any questions about anything I've done or how I've done it, or suggestions, I love suggestions. Just send me a note or drop a comment on FlyBoyz, and I'd love to hear what you want to say. So there you have it. This is my first attempt at a quick video narration. I did this all in one take. I didn't redo anything, so what you see is what you get, good or bad. And hopefully, if this is well received, and I can follow that on YouTube, which is where these things ultimately get posted, I'll follow it, see what kind of response I get. If it seems to be positive, I'll look to do more of these in the future. So again, as I said, I appreciate you guys reading FlyBoyz and keeping up with me, and hopefully we'll do more of these in the future. So until next time, take care and keep your lines tight. Bye.